Okay, well, let's do this. So this is the last recorded lecture that we're going to have. Like I said in class, um, I'm going to go over a writing tip that I think is useful. Um, Nothing is going to be due. So my suggestion is if you want to learn a good tip, make sure you do these activities and pay attention. But the most important thing is that you actually watch this video. It needs to be viewed. All right, so let us begin. So I've uploaded a handout and it's called 22F Nominalization. So this is page 1. So before we begin, I want you to do this. There are these 5 pairs of sentences. In each pair, check the one you think is clearer and more direct. And you can highlight it, just highlight it, whatever you want to underline it, doesn't matter. Then in this blank, write how many numbers are in each sentence. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 7. So here, that's 7. And here, that's 4. And then highlight whichever one you think is clear. In my opinion, they conducted an investigation of crime. I think this one is clear. So take 2 minutes and open up that file and highlight whichever sentence in each pair you think is clear and write the number of words. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. You didn't need 2 minutes. All right, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna guess that you thought this one was clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna guess that you thought this one is clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Once again, I'm gonna think you thought the bottom one is clear. 2, 3. And you know what? Once again, I'm gonna guess you thought the bottom one is clear. Okay, so as we can see here, in each pair, in my opinion, and I'm guessing in your opinion too, the bottom sentence, which is shorter, it has less words, is the clearer one. Now, the reason is not the reason I chose, and I think you chose, the bottom ones as clear is not because they have fewer words. That's not the main reason. But it's because the top sentence has nominalization. And that is what we're going to talk about today. Um, so, not nominalization. Okay, what does that mean? Long word, technical word, but let's understand what it means. So, what is nominalization? And by the way, these slides cover this handout. So, covering now, moving on to page 2. What is nominalization? Well, nominalization means turning a strong action verb into a noun, making that verb usually the subject. Then we take a strong verb, an action verb, and we turn it into a noun. Then we replace the strong verb with a weak verb for the missing strong verb. So this sentence does not have nominalization. So it's not this. They investigated, strong verb, and they is the subject. So this is not nominalization. This is nominalization. They conducted an investigation. So here's the strong verb. It was turned into a noun. Investigation is a noun. So strong verb, investigate. We turned it into a noun, an investigation. Then we replaced this strong verb with a weaker verb. They conducted an investigation. They investigated the crime. 4 words, strong verb with nominalization. They conducted an investigation of the crime. 1, 2, 7 words, added 3 unnecessary words, and it feels weaker because we replaced the strong verb with a weaker one. So this is called nominalization. And when you have formal academic writing, we try to avoid nominalization because nominalization can have some negative side effects. For example, you end up including additional unnecessary words, like we looked at page 1 in the handout. All the words that were longer that had unnecessary words we thought they felt weaker. Sometimes it means you end up using the passive voice. Active voice is better, it's stronger, more direct, and uses strong verbs. Passive voice doesn't. Also, due to that, oftentimes you end up replacing that strong verb with the be verb as the main verb, and that's not as strong. So, therefore, these negative side effects can make sentences less concise, less direct, and more difficult to understand. There's more words, and it can make reading the sentences more tedious, more time-consuming. So, when possible, when we're aware, we want to avoid nominalization. So, these are strong verbs. Illustrate, fail, react, announce, increase. Those are strong action verbs, and they all have noun forms. So take 30 seconds. What are the noun forms of these? Illustrate. The noun form is illustration. AL, the noun form is failure. React, reaction. Announce, announcement. Increase, same, increase. All right, so these verbs have these strong verbs have noun forms. Nominalization means rather than using these strong verbs, you use these, which means you end up having a different verb that's not as strong and more words. All right. So the noun forms are nominalized words. So in this case, nominalize is a verb. So these are nominalized verbs. Sorry, words. So they become nouns. Okay. So here are some examples, and this is in that handout. This is weak. We saw this. They conducted an investigation of the crime. That's weak. Stronger, they investigated the crime. So investigate is a strong verb. Investigation is the noun. This is weak. There was flooding in the room due to heavy rain. Heavy rain flooded the room. Very strong and much less words. The hope of my dog is to eat human food. Use the be verb. My dog hopes to eat human food. Much stronger. A decision was made by her yesterday. Passive form. A decision was made. Instead, she decided yesterday. 3 words, very strong. This example provides an illustration of the problems with nominalizations. Long, weak verb, provide. Instead, strong. This example illustrates problems with nominalizations. Much stronger. Okay. So how can we convert sentences with nominalized verbs to strong verbs? Let's say we have a weak sentence or a sentence with a nominalized verb. How can we convert it into a strong verb, stronger sentence using the strong verb form of the nominalized word? Here are the 4 steps. And like I said, it's on page 3. Oh, actually, you know what? I did not put this in this handout. So you're going to have to watch. Step 1, find the nominalized verb. Step 2, who performed it? Step 3, make that person from step 2 the subject at the beginning of the sentence, followed by the verb from step 1. Then write the rest of the sentence. So let's take a look at an example. They conducted an investigation of the crime. Step 1, find the nominalized verb. What word here has been nominalized, has been turned into a noun? Investigation. Okay, so we're going to make that the verb. Step 2, who performed the verb? They. Okay. Step 3, make they, or make the person or thing, in this case they, the subject at the beginning of the sentence. It already is. Sometimes it's already at the beginning. Then this is going to be the verb that follows that subject. So in the correct tense, this is the past tense. Investigate is the verb. Past tense, investigated. They investigated. Okay, they investigated. Now we just need to write the rest of the sentence. What did they investigate? They investigated the crime. Boom. That's it. So once again, step one, find the nominalized verb. Boom, investigation. Okay. Who's conducting? Who's the subject? Who's performing this verb? They. Okay. Let's put they at the beginning, already there. Let's follow it by this verb in the correct tense. They investigated. Now write the rest of the sentence. They investigated the crime. Cool. All right. So now these are examples that we looked at a moment ago. These are the examples in this page. But let's, without looking at that page, let's convert these into stronger sentences. So first, 10 seconds, find the nominalized words. So the verbs that have been turned into nouns. So the first one, flooding. Okay, find the remaining 3. You're looking for a noun that should be the strong verb. Okay, for the green sentence, hope. For the yellow sentence, decision. For the last and the final blue sentence, illustration. Okay, now let's figure out the subject of the verb. What flooded? Heavy rain. Okay, now figure out who's hoping, figure out who made a decision, and figure out what provides an illustration. Okay, here. Who's hoping? My dog. Who made a decision? Her. Of course, we're going to change that to the subject pronoun. Who provided an illustration? This example. Now let's put all of these subjects to the front with the right tense of the verb. So flood is a verb. Flooding is the noun. What tense is this? Past tense. So heavy rain flooded. What did heavy rain flooded? What did it flood? The room. All right. This one. My dog, present tense. My dog hopes to do what? My dog hopes to eat human food. Okay, now her, put that as the subject. She, what tense? Past tense. She decided. Decided, it's intransitive. You don't need an object. She decided yesterday. Okay, this example provides present tense. Illustrate is the verb. So this example illustrates. What does it illustrate? The problems with nominalizations. Okay, great. So here are this sentence. Here's an activity. It's where you can test your skills. So here are 10 sentences. And what we want to do is change them because these all use nominalized words. So first, identify all of the nominalized words. So look for nouns that can be verbs. But in these sentences, they're used as nouns. So for example, in the first one, the budget cuts for the Writing Center were the topic of our debate. Here, debate. Debate is used as a noun. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the verb form and change the sentence. So take 3 minutes and find the nominalized words. Look for the nouns that you will convert into verbs. So take 3 minutes. Okay, so let's continue. So the intention of the jury is to quickly decide. Now here, look, decide is a verb. So intention. It was expected by John that his collection of data would be quick. Okay, expected is an adjective, was expected. Collection. There's a need for reinforcement of this law by the city. Okay, here. You could also do this one too. Depends on how you want to change it. We did a study. Study. The delay of the flight was caused by the storm. Delay. There was destruction of vegetation. Destruction. Our presentation. Presentation. An examination was done by the doctor. A demand from us. Okay, so now here we have, these are all nouns. Now take 30 seconds and think of the verbs. What are the, like debate? What is the verb form? Debate. What is the verb form of intention? Intend. What is the verb form of collection? Collect. What is the verb form of reinforcement? Reinforce. What is the verb form of study? Study. What is the verb form of delay? Delay. Same. What is the verb form of destruction? It's destroy. Yeah, we don't say destruct really. Presentation, present. Examination, examine. Demand, demand. Okay, so now in those sentences, we're going to use these words because these are strong verbs. So now let's find the doers, the subjects. So, okay. In this case, if debate is the verb, who's doing it? Oh, 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 I just wanted to point out. Yeah, as you can see here, we have the passive form in 3, 6, and 9. Okay. Um, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I think this is different. Oops. Yeah, you know what? Okay, let's take a look at this. Sorry, constantly revising stuff. So actually, uh, as you can tell, I'm using some old slides. Those are slides from 2020, and then this handout is from 2021. So I did make a change. So I wanted to make it more streamlined. So let's take just a look at these ones. And I believe I think only 4 is different. Okay, now let's figure out who did this debate. Our. Okay. The intention of the jury. Intend. Who's intending? The jury. What we're trying to do is find the subject of these once we change them into verbs, subject of the verbs. Okay, let's use collect as a verb. Who's collecting? Data. John. Okay, declare is a verb. Who's declaring? There was a strong declaration of this law by the city. Study, we. The delay of the flight was due to the storm. Who delayed the flight? I'm sorry, the storm. The storm did the delay. Okay, there was destruction. Who destroyed? Our. Right there. An investigation of the body was done by the doctor. A demand from us. Okay, now what we want to do is move the yellow subject to the front, followed by the underlined verb form in the correct tense. So, our, of course, is the object pronoun. We need the subject, we. We. Debate is the verb. What tense? Budget cuts for were. Past tense. Here. The jury. Intend is the verb. Present tense is the jury intends. John Now collect. Collect is the verb. What tense? Had an expectation. So we want the past tense. The city goes first. It's the subject. Declares the verb. Tense was past tense. We. Okay, study is the verb. What tense? Did, so past tense. The storm. Delay. What tense? Past tense. Was. The 2007 fires in Morgan Hill. Subject. Destroy. What tense? Was, past tense. Our, flip to we, was, so presented. The doctor. Examine. Was done, examined. The demand from us. We, oops. We demand, present tense. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Oops. Oh. Okay. So we debated. Now we need to write the rest of the sentence. So what did we debate? Let's see. We debated the budget cuts for the Writing Center. That's it. So instead of saying the budget cuts for the Writing Center were the topic of our debate, we can say we debated the budget cuts for the Writing Center. Okay, let's do the next one together. Then I'll give you a couple minutes to do the remaining ones by yourself, and we'll finish them together. The jury the jury intends. What does the jury intend to do? The jury intends quickly decide. Okay, so take 2 minutes and do 3, 2, 10. By the way, let's do this. Sorry. Yeah, because that was my mistake. I don't know why I underlined collect, but collect is a verb here. It's not the noun. I don't know what I was thinking. So expectation, that is a noun. Collect here is a verb. So expectation is the nominalized verb, nominalized word. Flip it, change it into the verb form. John expected. What did he expect? John expected to collect a lot of data. Boom. The city declared. What did the city declare? This law. And if you want to keep strong, now we have this verb. You can use the adverb. The city strongly declared this law. We studied. What did we study? Prostate cancer. The storm delayed. What did the storm delay? The flight. The 2007 fires of Morgan Hill destroyed. What did it destroy? Vegetation, plants. We presented. What did we present? We presented a new regulation. You could also say we presented about, either one. The doctor examined the body. We demand. This one's a little trickier. We demand. You can say we demand. Now, us. A demand from us must exist. So we demand. We demand the use of clean energy. We demand. Oh, there's multiple things you can say. Now, what you can do is, this is not exactly the same as the top one. So actually, how about this? We must demand. To be honest, you don't need to. We demand clean energy. We must demand clean energy. Just most direct. All right. Well, that is nominalization. So I will leave that handout. I mean, obviously, you probably have already seen it and opened and looked at it, hopefully. But that's nominalization. And nominalization is good because when you nominalize verbs, let's just review. Because nominalization means taking a strong verb, turning it into a noun, then replacing it with a weaker verb, or just a weak verb in general. So they investigated the crime. They conducted an investigation of the crime. So the reason why we want to avoid nominalization is because it includes additional unnecessary words. Sometimes you end up having to use the passive voice. And it was really sunny because of the sunset. Having the be verb as the main verb, these affect sentences become less concise, more difficult to understand, and make reading the sentences longer and more time consuming. All right, that's it. So I hope you actually watched it. I will see you in class. Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya.